Hello, my name is Ilya and I'm your teacher. So imagine a situation. You're sitting here on an Olympiad and you notice that you have to write a report and you have no idea what to do. Great, right? Well, actually not really, because this is totally not something you want to. Because last year on the original level, the writing, which was a report, made up for 20 points out of 120. Believe me, I flunked it. Now I've learned my lesson and I'm here to help you. So we have to start with the definition of a report. A report in an Olympiad is an analysis of data given you in graphs or in charts. So, for example, you're given a graph and you are to figure out the main points and state them. The first thing that you need to do is take a good look at the graph and try to figure out what the data is. It might be the number of third graders that smoke, might be the number of seasons in an average TV show. It could be anything, but you have to figure out what the data is and how to present it. The most important points. A report is always strictly formal, which means no contractions and no colloquial speech. Because, no one's gonna appreciate your jokes. Well, they might have a giggle, but you're losing points. That's exactly not what you want. So, the next thing that you need to keep track of is the style. You need to stick to the style. Not the style, the structure. I'm sorry, the structure. So, usual report consists of a title, which you must write in caps, because and no points at the end, no inverted commas, nothing, just caps, because that way you're absolutely free in terms of mistakes. It's foolproof. You don't have to make it very long, like 4 to 5 words. It'll be quite enough. And what you will have to write is a report on, and now pretty much whatever your topic is. Then comes the introduction, in which you take a quick overview of the topic. You do not analyze the data in the introduction, because this is what the main body is for. So you have an intro. In it you take a quick glance and create the thesis that you are going to prove later throughout the report. Once again, no analysis. Just do not even state the data, you just say something about it, the topic, but do not name figures or anything. No analysis, just introduction. So, next comes the main body, in which you analyze the data given you in the graphs, and you do not only state it, you analyze it, because if you state it, you're missing the whole criterion. You pick, you're given a lot of, actually, points, and not in the points that you get for the task, but the points that you might have to note but you have to pick like 2 or 3. You don't need to mention everything. You pick 2 to 3 main points, and you analyze them and compare them to each other. After that, you carry on to the conclusion, which should be the proof of what you said in the intro. This should be the main. So once again, keep to the structure, remember about style, and do not mention everything. You do not have to. You just pick up the most important stuff, because that's one of the things that that your work is assessed by, I suppose. So after that, there are some more things that you do need to keep track of, such as your extra tasks. Those could be some extra words that you need to mention. For these might be fluctuate, or assess, or any smart word if you want to go that way. The main rule here is to use them all, but you only get the point for using them correctly. So if you don't know what that means, what the word assess means, like I did 2 years ago, just stick it somewhere where it seems to fit, because it's better. Having a chance to get a point is better than not having to, obviously. After that, you need to check some special vocabulary. Actually, those box words might as well be part of the special vocabulary that you need in order to write a report. Most of the special vocabulary is related to graphs. So here we have a graph that I know P to T, and it goes like this. Looks like kind of like a cardiogram, but don't bother. And so there are special words to describe how a graph behaves. Those being decreasing when it's going down and increasing when it's going up. It can be gradual, it can be rapid. Well, obviously not only increasing but decreasing. When a graph is going stable, it's steady, or it's stable. Special words for describing an increasing or a decreasing graph are in the first. So the special words to describe an increasing graph are climb, or grow, or if it's rapid, you can say skyrocket or jump. If a graph changes its direction, you can say it peaks. For example, in this case, P peaks at, let's say, 10,000, because, you know, who cares? In this scenario, whatever constant is P, you can just put it in there and say amount of Barbie dolls sold every year is 10,000 million Barbie dolls. It's as simple as that. When it goes down, it falls, it drops, it plummets if it's going down really, really quickly, like the British pound when the Brexit came around. Something like that. You also need to proofread your work. It's very, very important, more important than you could ever imagine, because if you just write something, it might look like a work of genius to you, but it totally 100% it has gaping flaws that you didn't see. This is why you should read it backwards. I mean, not like Elle did. You aren't supposed to read it that way because, well, only Chinese read that way, do they? Or the Arabic, whatever, not being racist here. You take the topics, the micro topics, and you read them backwards. As in, the last topic, then the one before the last, then the other, and back to the first. This way you can see some hidden flaws that you wouldn't be able to see if you read it normally. Because you wrote it, you're used to reading it normally. And when you read it backwards, this is a brand new point of view. A new fantastic point of view, if you will. And also, one of the most important criteria that you can get flunked because of is the word count. Between the three main parts, such being the intro, the main body, and the conclusion, you usually need to distribute words like 1 to 3 to 1, like 20%, 60%, and 20% again. Because if you make the intro too long, you're probably missing out on a lot of words. There is almost always, yeah, I think there is always some, what was the word? Bear with me a moment. I guess you can say range. Yeah, range. I'm so sorry. There is always a range. So we have an X and, for example, a Y. And you have to fit your amount of words between X and between the X and the Y. Sometimes it's plus minus 3%, 10%, but don't risk it because because you're never told. It might be in the criteria, but nobody will tell you that. So you best fit in there. So I think I've covered all of the most important topics. So let's do a quick review. Style, no contractions, no colloquials. Colloquials, strange word. Title, caps, no dots, no point, no inverted commas. Intro, just a quick glance at the topic. Main body, analysis, not only statement. And comparison. Conclusion, go back to the intro, what you said in the intro. Word count, very important. Because if you're over it, then your work is just cut off and you might get your conclusion missed. And if it's below the X, then you're basically getting 0, which is not a thing that you want. Here's some vocab that you might need. Take a photo if you will. And I think that's about it. Thank you very much for being, I think the word is, thank you for coping with me, because I'm terrible. See you next time. I'm Ilya.